Hello and welcome to the Wonderful Women Business Networking Show. I'm Julie Selby.
And I'm Deb Alcadinho.
Welcome back to the show that shines the light on wonderful women business owners, their products, services, projects, and passions. And we have a wonderful guest that will be joining us today. And I may end up talking about some news and trends. We did have a last minute cancellation with our second guest. So Deb and I will have a little time, as I always say. If you hang around with us, you're going to learn about social media as well as social impact. So we'll talk a little bit about some of those topics as well today. Yay. So with that, I'm going to invite my host, co-host Deb Alcadinho. Please introduce yourself and your business.
Hey, thanks, Julie. So hi, everyone. I'm Deb Alcadinho, for those that don't know me, with Business for Social Good, coming to you from Victoria, BC, Canada. So Business for Social Good, who are we? We work with women entrepreneurs of purpose-led businesses to align their purpose, create impact, and change the world using their business as a social change agent. So essentially, we align people and businesses to their bigger cause so that they can create impact locally or globally. Now, over to you, my friend.
Wonderful. And I need to actually remember to do this at the top of the show, but I forgot. So I'm going to do it now.
Territorial acknowledgements.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. We acknowledge and show gratitude for living and working on the traditional territories of the Coast Salish nations. I am learning much. Yes. I have much to learn.
Don't we all?
Learn and unlearn.
Yes.
I am Julie Selby. My company is Sandy Social Marketing Training, and I offer social media marketing training, one-on-one, private training and coaching for small business owners. Particularly love working with helpers, healers, and creatives. So I work with a lot of coaches, wellness professionals, and creatives, artists, interior designers, etc. And I love helping remove the barriers, because for a lot of people, these social media tools, social media technology, just it becomes a barrier for them to kind of get themselves out there and get on with the business of building relationships and getting the word out about what they offer or what they care about, what they're passionate about, what difference they want to make in the world. And I am literally, my life purpose is to facilitate connection. I'm a born connector, and I am on a mission to help get more positive voices out in the world, particularly in the online world, because I believe that will make the world a better place. So I offer private lessons as well as online courses and workshops in my business. So thank you for asking. Mm-hmm. And with that, shall we go ahead and bring on today's guest?
Yes, please.
All right. Welcome to the show, Andrea. We're so happy to have you here with us today. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. Happy to be here.
We're thrilled to have you.
Thrilled to have you. And please tell us all about you and your business.
Okay, so I'm Andrea Cameron. I am with Fashion Your Life. I'm a fashion designer and image architect and founder. And I am on a mission to transform the way people relate to themselves and their style, and challenging the really the problematic behaviors that the fashion industry perpetuates. Wow. Yeah. So I do that through consultations, and there's bigger packages that I do, and a few other ways, but consultations are my main service.
So what do you find are the biggest challenges for people? Like, what are some of these issues that you're helping people overcome? Top 3.
Oh, 3. Okay. The root of the issue is, it always comes back to people's ability to accept themselves and give themselves permission to be themselves. Right. So that's going the full 7 layers deep right away, because I tend to do that. But that's ultimately at the root of it. What's on top of that can look a little bit different for everybody. Sometimes there's more external forces, which the fashion industry is meant to keep us all confused and frustrated and overwhelmed, because then we buy more, right?
Yeah.
And when we don't know who we are, then we just go and try and find it somewhere else. And my tagline is consume less, express more. Fashion Your Life for that very reason. And that's why authenticity and sustainability truly are core to what I do. I know they're like buzzwords, but I'm just like, yeah, but they're so true for me because it's very, very important. So that's like the underlying issue. And then what tends to happen is either people have the closet full of clothes with nothing to wear, and then they just want to get rid of everything and start over. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Start with what you have. There's so much information in there, right?
That's an interesting way to put it. There's so much information in your closet.
Yeah.
Love that.
It's a whole journey of learning, and that's where I come in. And then there's the people who are more the minimalist, and they're really the people who, well, they look like everybody else. So they're not like tapping into the power of fashion and the psychology behind fashion to really look good and feel good, right? Like there's so much more to it that can be used. Yeah, so I find those are the key challenges. It's either people don't take the time to play with fashion, because fashion is all about to fashion. So I want to take it away from this industry and put it into your essence of yourself and who you are. And then there's the people who are caught up in it and can't find themselves. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it's just it's a lack of self-permission.
I love that idea of you being their partner that can help them play with fashion, because I think certainly, you know, we lose that as we get older, right? And
Totally.
it become almost, not that I don't love shopping, but it can become a chore at times. Shop
A
it should be a fun thing, right? It should be, like you said, discovering your rediscovering your style and expressing yourself.
I hear a lot of people always say, sorry, I just got excited because a lot of people always say, I hate shopping. Like I literally just went on again and saw a post on Facebook. I hate shopping. Like, I hate shopping. And I'm just like, yeah, because it wants you to stay in this cycle. It wants you to stay caught up in it. It doesn't want you to know who you are. That's how it makes money.
Yeah. The evil twin, or whatever you want to call it. So that's a common thing that people say to you. I hate shopping. What are two other really common things that people would say when they find you?
When they find me, they either hate shopping or
motivations around, like, what is it that makes them want to make a change, right? Like, what are they drawn to? What happens in their life? Yeah.
Typically they don't know how to put something together. They don't know how to put a look put together. So they want to feel more put together. Usually it's their up leveling, like they're for lack of a better word,
up level, or perhaps maybe a significant birthday, or perhaps
maybe
even
a birthday.
Special event. Sometimes
people have been moving, which is a really interesting time to go through your wardrobe. Up leveling, like usually they're preparing for something. So whether it's getting a promotion or a new job, or taking on a new venture. So like I've worked with people right as they're at the beginning of their business, and people who know they want to be on video or do videos or stuff like that. Typically, so they hate shopping, and they're kind of nerdy about what their area of expertise is. So they've never really looked at or thought fashion was for them. And it's like, it's this fun place that you can play and try things on, and you really get to know who you are. Like I said, if you have the closet full of clothes, which it's a bit of a different person, but that person wants to throw everything out. It's like, you can literally, I coach you through that whole process. We go through everything, and I ask questions to help you discover things. And it's amazing when I see people go, oh, right? Like anytime you're coaching somebody, that you see it happen, and it's just like, yes, I did my job.
Those ahas.
A light bulb moment. I've definitely been that person a number of times, where I'll look in my closet. Now, bear in mind, my closet is exactly 3 feet long. Like I have a bar, and that's it. Like nothing. So I don't have an expansive wardrobe, but I have been at that point where looking at my closet and going, oh my gosh, what goes together, because I've bought pieces individually. I haven't bought the look, right?
Yeah.
And then I lose sight of, well, on a day-to-day, I wear black pants and, a black shirt with pattern in it, and so to put together a look for, Julie and I's photo sessions or whatever, I look at my closet and go, duh, like what goes together. It takes a fair amount of brain power for me to actually think about that. So
and as you mentioned, video, that's so important these days in terms of having visuals for your marketing, your website and your social media, to be able to put yourself out there, right? And to have the confidence in your look, to be able to express yourself.
Sorry, people have come to me before photo shoots too, and that's something I'm incorporating more. I work with a lot of different photographers that just
Awesome.
So when they come to you with these expressions, what kind of walk us through what working with you would look like? So the I hate shopping person, where do you start with them?
Yeah, I meet them where they're at. So it really differs depending on their needs.
Okay.
Most people, we start with their closet. So whatever scope, there's various scopes of what that can look like, as far as how detailed we go. And we start there because that's like, even the people who want to throw it all away and think there's nothing in there, we get, I don't know, like a dozen looks, and they're just like, whoa, blown away. And I'm like, yeah, because you have all these pieces in there that you don't know what to do with. And often there's that piece that didn't match that still has tags on it. So sometimes it's alterations and upcycling as well, right? So I'm extremely creative at helping people feel more confident and comfortable in their clothes. That's my superpower.
Love it. So, wow, cool. That's a great superpower.
So it's a closet audit to start.
Yeah, that's it. It is. Yeah, the consultation, typically people come with a specific thing, like I need 2-3 outfits for this conference, or I have a photo shoot coming up and I want a few different looks, or I just want to know what I should get rid of and what can be, salvaged, that kind of thing.
So we should mention you are based here in Victoria, BC.
Yes.
So do you mainly work with people in person, or can you do something like a closet edit virtually where they've got their phone and they're video calling with you? Tell us about that.
My initial consultation is virtually, and if people want to work with me further, they can do the whole thing virtually, but it is more work for them. If I will work with people in the Victoria area, that's super easy for me to do. I love to travel. So if that's an option for people, then we can talk about that as well. I'm
cool.
Flexible.
Well, I mean, certainly in this online world, for you to be able to take your expertise online and serve people virtually anywhere in the world, here's my closet, here's I've laid out the pieces on the bed, or, or on a rack or whatever. I mean, my gosh, have phone will travel. Like you could.
I've done it several times now, and people are usually a little bit like, like getting the positioning right at first, because I need to be able to see things, but we figure it out when we get there, and it's fun.
And then once you do the closet edit, say if they need to add new pieces, how do you go about shopping? Do you have sites that you recommend to them online, or do you take them shopping, or
so shopping
for them, or?
Yeah, shopping is my last resort. So
I do. Very interesting.
Yeah, I do create a list of things as we're going through the closet, because what happens when we're doing that is we find the gaps, we find the specific pieces, like, oh, this outfit would be complete if you just had this thing, right? And so I create a short list. It's not usually that long. And so acquiring those pieces, before we go into that, it's usually looking at the piles of things that are like, do we want to alter this? Do we want to upcycle this? And also what gets donated and how does it get donated?
Oh,
Because
interesting.
that's a whole thing too. Donating clothes, I don't want you to just take a big bag of clothes and drop them off somewhere, because that's not taking accountability. And
Wow.
when you take accountability, you learn more of how to procure new items better, right? And honing in on your style helps you with that. So it's a whole process.
What you do is very unique.
Yes, it is. And it was a process that came out very intuitively, just as I was working with people over the years. So when it comes to actually finding pieces, yes, I find there's certain places that I do like to send people to, because I know that the quality is good and they'll have a good experience with the product. I also know like how to understand what somebody is looking for and what's out there, so I match those two. I'm building up a list of preferred brands, but I'm not just going to send anybody anywhere. And if they're locally, we actually can do a shopping excursion together, and helping people navigate stores is it's a whole thing.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, especially the big stores where they're broken down into all the different brands. As I get older, I don't like that experience. I like to go into a small independent where I know I know the brand, I know it fits me, I know I like it, and navigate that space than the larger stores that I have to look around for. It just drives me crazy. Anyway.
Yeah, I've had multiple clients who department stores specifically, like I'll take them in because they're with me and they feel safer. They feel better because I'm able to guide them, but department stores are just, it's too much. It's like overstimulus and they get lost. And I totally understand and appreciate that. I can shop till I drop. I'm a little bit different, but that's why I'm there to help them, because it is the boutique experience is very different. Some people are intimidated by boutiques though. I know I was years ago, like, going on shopping trips, it was going into a fancy boutique and I was like, I don't belong here. Like, what? Now, like, it's a bit different, but yeah, it is it's a whole experience, and there's a mindset around it. And it's just really helpful to have like a shopping buddy, and I help people learn what to look for and how to look for it.
Very cool.
An educated person as opposed to a girlfriend, right? Who's going to say, that looks great on you, and everything looks great on you.
I mean, girlfriend's great. It's better than relying on the shop.
Yes.
Keeper.
Yeah, for sure.
I have on occasion taken my sister, not too often, but she'll let me know if something does not look good. She's brutally honest.
You want that person.
Well, that's what you need, right?
You need the honest friend.
What's that?
You need the honest friend.
The honest friend,
exactly.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. I was going to say one thing I love is scarves and jewelry, and so I like to. There's so many wonderful artists, right? So many wonderful local artists, and you can support artists and then have cool stuff to help express your style as well. So that's one that I like. These are Lori McDonald earrings.
Nice.
They were a gift from Deb. Thank you, Deb. And they've got like wave patterns. She's a local Victoria artist, so shout out to Lori McDonald. Did I get the name correct, Deb?
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
perfect. Yeah. So we'll link to Lori in the show notes if you want to check out her beautiful local jewelry. This is another local artist. I don't have the name of it off the top of my head, but anyway, I'm all about the accessories these days because I have lots in my closet, but you can't have enough accessories as far as I'm concerned.
So true. So true. Anyway, one last question for you, Andrea, before we depart, or before we finish our questioning. I think we've got a couple more minutes, but the one question that comes to mind is, so do you help people with, now this would be probably more relevant in person than online, but do you help them with their colors and with their style to say, you really need a V-neck as opposed to a crew neck? Like, do you get into that
style suit, the body type, you mean?
Yes. Yeah.
So this is where I do things very differently. So I don't do it. I'm not a colorologist or whatever it's called. And I don't do body typing because I don't believe in putting people into any sort of box.
Yeah.
I believe in pulling it out of them. So the process is very different in that they know, your style. Right? It's deep down inside. So we do the exploring and discovery, and I pull that out and help you see it and basically put it in front of you and say, here, this is your style, and point it out and affirm, and show people what they look like, essentially. So it's like peeling off the layers so that they find it for themselves, because that is actually way, way, way more sustainable. Yeah. So as far as like a specific neckline, usually that'll come out in the process. Specific colors, definitely we always talk about colors. Like silhouettes, it's like, oh, well, you like this kind of silhouette, so you can do this and this and this, right? But it's a back and forth, and it's an unpeeling of like finding your essence and what really works for you, as opposed to me coming in and be like, oh, well, you have a large chest, you should wear this. Like, nah, because to me, I'm all about breaking the rules. The rules don't apply. It's about what works for you specifically, individually, based on your preferences and personality and how you carry yourself. Yeah.
Amazing. Awesome.
Amazing. Like a creative rebel play partner. I love it. So fun. You really have a very cool, very unique approach.
Thank you.
So people can please tell us your website. Of course, we'll have all of your links in the show notes,
Awesome.
Including your website, but let folks know where they can get in touch with you.
Yeah, you can find everything about me and what I offer at fashionyourlife.ca. All my social links are there as well. Yeah.
Wonderful. And any final thoughts that you want to share with the audience about your business or fashion in general?
One of the things I thought of was we were talking about procurement and getting new items. I actually do a lot of thrifting and vintage shopping too. So it's not just about buying new, right?
Perfect. Very cool.
So just to think like we don't have to jump to, it needs to be something new. This was thrifted.
Nice. I love thrifting. Cool. I thrifted for decades.
Yeah.
And it's very much in fashion, thankfully, again, these days. So yeah.
Closing the loop on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I would just also say you're excellent on video. So I would compliment your social media and encourage you, even if you're not quite ready for the services that Andrea offers at this time, follow her on social media. Check out her videos. She shares lots of wonderful tips about fashion, and she's very entertaining. So
thank you.
So we'll have all of your links in the show notes. And thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a pleasure to learn more about you and your business.
So when we finish the show, Andrea, just to, I think I might have told you this pre-show or like a week ago. But when we're finished the show, Julie will, we're streaming live right now, but she will post the replay. And then you can share that out to your community as well.
Perfect.
You are welcome to. Yeah, you bet.
Love it.
Would you like to stay on stage with us, or would you like to
hang out? I can learn.
Okay, that sounds good. Well, Deb, we've done very well with time. We, of course, she's a natural. Andrea's a natural on camera, so we, even though we didn't have a second guest, it's been lovely. Do you want me to speak briefly to some of the trending news in the wonderful world of social media?
It's there's always so much. So
so we just have about 6 minutes left of the show today. So TikTok has been in the news. So I've had a number of people asking me, sending me articles and saying, should I remove the TikTok app from my phone? I think you're on TikTok as well, aren't you, Andrea? Do you use TikTok? Yeah. A number of governments, including the EU, the US, and the Canadian government have asked government officials to remove the app from their phone, citing security issues. Why did they not get on top of this like a couple of years ago when like the whole world was getting on TikTok? If you ask me, I think it's relating to the political environment right now. I think they're using this as a bargaining tool. With that said, the the Federal Privacy Commissioner in Canada, as well as a number of provinces, are working together to actually do an inquiry into TikTok, the information they use, their transparency around their privacy policy and the information they use. So I would suggest to anyone watching, if you have TikTok on your phone, any of the activity relating to TikTok, so whether it be, we have to give a real phone number to set up an account. If you upload your contacts, any content you upload into the platform, anything you watch or any activity even how long, what content you're watching, how long you dwell on it, how long you rewatch stuff, who you're following, all of that information. TikTok is a Chinese-owned company. So by law, Chinese companies do have to provide information to the Chinese government. So just be aware that any of that information could be, just as US companies provide any of this information to the US government, right?
Yes, that's right.
So privacy is long been dead. Not that we don't care about it. We still absolutely do care about it. But, it's pretty hard to not make the choice to participate in the online world. That's, we all have smartphones and all of that's, Google's tracking us. We were tracked long before that, unless you were paying cash and wearing a tinfoil hat for everything in your life. You've been tracked for marketing purposes for many, many years now. I think consumers just may not have been aware of it. And we're becoming more aware of how we're being tracked now. The Canadian government has not given any definitive advice in terms of whether or not we should uninstall. Again, that's a bit of a political dance as well with the current Canada-China relationship, in terms of they have security concerns perhaps, but if they told the general population to remove TikTok, that would super piss off China, right? So they're leaving it up to us, and they have not given good guidance as to whether or not we should. I have watched a number of news segments with privacy and security experts, as well as asked our local privacy expert, the White Hatters. I did ask them about what their thoughts were on that. They suggested using a separate device with the TikTok app installed. Other privacy experts have suggested accessing TikTok on a desktop computer where you are using a VPN to cloak your browsing activity. I don't do any, I don't take photos of anything sensitive on my phone because I know it goes to cloud storage in backup, on iCloud and Google Drive, Google Photos. I don't do anything like banking or anything on my mobile device. So I do have TikTok on my device. I'm not removing it. I do, however, go into the app settings in between when I'm posting content, and I turn everything off. So certainly location is off, tracking is off, access to my contacts, to my microphone, camera, that's all off when I'm not actually physically posting an item to TikTok. I also, does the app have a way to do other things on your phone, like read your email? I don't think so, but who knows, right?
Do the other social platforms have the same, yes, there's lots of hoopla about TikTok right now, but what's to say that Facebook doesn't, that Meta doesn't, that,
And even Facebook has claimed to not listen to our microphone, but yet haven't we all had that time where you're literally even just thinking about something, maybe chatting with a friend about something, and suddenly an ad shows up?
Yep.
There's lots of other ways that they can track us in terms of most websites on the internet, or I don't know, a lot of websites on the internet have the Facebook ads tracking pixel. So that's one of the ways they can know if you might be how did they know I'm interested in kitchen remodeling? Maybe because you went to the Home Depot website, or you were on some kitchen remodeling blogs or something like that, right? They do have other ways that they could figure that out. So yeah, that's how I'm approaching it. As far as I understand, they have access to everything that you're doing within the context of the app itself, and not other stuff on your phone, though I'm not a privacy and security expert. So I couldn't speak to that specifically. I'm personally not uninstalling it at this time. I do, however, don't do much of my content consumption on that platform. Ironically, I trust Google, also known as YouTube, owns YouTube. I trust them more with my data. So I do my consuming of video content more on the YouTube app than I do on TikTok. With that said, it is the one social network that still has higher engagement than others and potential for reaching people that don't know you yet. So I would say still go for it, especially if you've already got an audience built up. And The NDP leader.
Jasmeet Singh?
Yes. Jagmeet Singh, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
He actually had, I want to say 800,000 followers on his TikTok account.
Wow.
And he deleted it.
Oh. Oh,
That's
well,
a crazy missed opportunity. I don't understand why he wouldn't have put that on, because he had to. I guess it was right to lead by example. Could he not have sourced a personal phone to continue communicating with the audience? So it's a huge missed opportunity. So yeah, very interesting.
Didn't even think about that, I'm sure. Yeah.
Anyway, so that's going on. If you ask my opinion, I do not think there's going to be a total TikTok ban, though the US government has now supposedly, or is in progress, to give the President Biden permission to make that decision to full out ban TikTok for the entire population. If he decides, again, I think that's a political tool.
That would be...
I don't think it will actually happen. With that said, India banned TikTok long ago, which is why YouTube launched their TikTok copycat. YouTube Shorts was launched in India first in 2020 before they launched it to the rest of us in 2021. And it's done quite well in India for that reason. So I don't anticipate there'll be a full out TikTok ban, but who knows? If the US did ban it, Canada kind of was following suit and the European Union are kind of following suit of the US's lead in that respect with everything that's going on politically. So
that would be super.
Be a ban, but who knows?
The whole freedom of speech and like that would be really
so those are valid.
The US to do that.
Yeah, absolutely valid point. So TikTok, that would be bad for freedom of speech if TikTok was banned. That would certainly, I would give kudos to TikTok for stirring innovation in a somewhat stale world of social media. It was basically Meta, who owns Instagram and Facebook and Messenger and WhatsApp, just copying other people's features, stealing Snapchat's stories.
Yeah.
And just with that said, Facebook could say, well, many other social channels copied the news feed and we innovated that years ago. But it really is TikTok that's kind of changed the game in social media in the last couple of years, with not only its short vertical videos and its swipe up, addictive, easy to watch feed, because with that algorithm, they're able to understand within an hour or two what you like, so that they can, because you're watching so many short clips, so they can serve you a lot of really awesome, when I say awesome to you, content that you're interested in a short period of time. And really, that shift, like Facebook and Instagram, it's been like we've had to follow what we're interested in, or we're following friends and family on Facebook versus what's being recommended to us. Like we might not even know that we might like something. And so and even on LinkedIn is going to be adopting that trend more, where they're wanting to connect us with creators, creating content that will be relevant and interesting to us to help us discover content rather than having to follow content. So it's really created innovate, and virtually every social channel has copied the TikTok format with that short vertical swipe up video. LinkedIn's the only one in the top social channels that hasn't copied it. And I don't think they will. They did copy 24-hour disappearing stories at one point, and then that didn't get used that much and it got killed. So I don't necessarily think, with that said, those vertical videos work just fine on LinkedIn. So if you're creating them for other channels, you can share them on LinkedIn. And they're going to be continuing to focus on video on all the platforms, including LinkedIn, right? And on LinkedIn, they're even going to be adding some of this in the new version of the upcoming LinkedIn app. I don't know when that will be, but they're going to have a dedicated discovery tab that will highlight video. So, bringing it back to the point that TikTok has really stirred innovation in the wonderful world of social media marketing that had gotten a bit stale. So because of their presence, it's forcing others to
pay attention and innovate.
Yep. So bad for freedom of speech and bad for innovation. Kudos to them for bringing innovation. With that said, I do agree that it is a security risk and can be used as a propaganda tool as well, with the algorithm, dialing down stuff they don't like, dialing up stuff they do like, and that does influence our youth in the West in general. So,
and with that, we are 34 minutes after the hour.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you. Oh, and I want to remember, I always forget to put the banner and
thanks.
So if any of our listeners, followers would like to be a guest in the future. We are the second and fourth Thursday of the month from 4:30 till 5 Pacific. We would love you to join us. Be brave, like Andrea. Come on.
I highly recommend it.
You
So
can
much.
see we keep it pretty easy peasy and conversational. So we're going to keep you really comfortable here. So come and shine the light on your business, your nonprofit, your project, your book, your passion, and we will share it to our audience, and you can share it to your audience.
For sure.
Thank
And
you for being
practice
with
going
us.
live. Yeah,
And
practice
practice
going
going
live
live.
on camera. Get the word out.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you again, Andrea. We appreciate having you join us. Have a great
Bye,
rest of your
everyone.
day, everyone. Thank you. Bye.